Who y'all, Recruiting Nation? Welcome back to another phenomenal episode of Uncharted Waters with the one, the only, the people's champ, the architect of success, Admiral James Waters. I am Chief Totome. Let's get into another incredible episode. Today, we have two phenomenal guests. Very similar to life, like in the Navy, to be successful, you need a guide. You need someone that knows your strengths and can improve your weaknesses. Today, we have two of the best trainers in the nation. We have Senior Chief Carelock, Chief Hopkinson, Region Trainers. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Good to be here.
Who ya? Senior Carelock, can you a little bit start with who you are, talk about your naval journey?
Absolutely. So, Senior Chief Carelock, originally from North Charlotte, North Carolina. Joined right in 2004, right after high school. So this is all I know. Came in as an undesignated seaman, struck engineman. Did that for about a good 6 years and then made N2, came out to recruiting, started in NRD Raleigh. At Raleigh, I got Recruiter of the Year, physical year 12. Got selected NC, so got my LPO call, got my rank qual. From NRD Raleigh, went to NRD Houston, got large lead station of the year as an NC1. And then from Houston, went to NRD New York, got Sailor of the Year, got my DLSPO call there. And then from New York, was in transit, then got selected for Chief, went to NRD Nashville and got DLSPO of the Year 2 years in a row.
Who ya?
And then was selected a Region West trainer. So here I am.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise that you was selected as a trainer, it sounds like.
That was what he's doing.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you. Thanks.
Chief Hopkinson?
So Chief Hopkinson, I grew up on a strawberry farm, middle of nowhere, Illinois. So I actually, as well, started off undesignated seaman, ended up going AZ, then LS, then NC. So I've dabbled a lot in many different things. I've been on a destroyer, been a part of a squadron. Now I've been in recruiting for about 10 years.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. I started off in Rocky Mountain, then went over to NTAG Miami, and now I'm over here as a Region West trainer.
Who ya?
Really good.
Who ya?
All right.
Perfect. So Chief Hopkinson, to start with you. As a region trainer, what is your role? What are your responsibilities?
So as a region trainer, our main role and responsibility is to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of our 13 NTAGs that are attached to us, and not only build on those strengths, but really make a plan of action and train to the weaknesses. Because we are here for the team. We're a part of the team, and we want them, to win as well.
Who ya?
Yeah, it's really important that Recruiting Nation understands that when the region trainers are on the ground, they're there to help. That you've looked at the performance of the NTAG, you've got a lot of experience in your own NTAGs, but also as a trainer, and can bring best practices, lessons learned that actually makes life better and easier for the folks that are on the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
So Senior Chief, one of the main focuses, or two of our main focuses for this current FY is new accession training and spec war. How can the various NTAGs leverage region trainers to ensure that they make these missions?
For sure. So one thing that I've noticed really, and really just being out in the field, when it comes into wicket prospecting, we're taking, or recruiters I've seen, to take a lot of time extra in a sense doing wicket prospecting, because generally, of course, we're chasing for the NCO, we're ensuring our future sailors, of course, go to boot camp. A way to leverage the NTAGs, for a way to leverage the region trainers is utilize the trainers into allowing us in the NTAG and going to events, right? So for example, let's say a high school is hosting a wrestling match, right? Well, what better way to bring in a trainer to help facilitate, that match? Or even if we're doing a swim meet, right? Help building COIs throughout that, right? Warrior Challenge, you think about it, a lot of them are cross-country runners, they're wrestlers, they're track stars, or, some football players, right? Well, in recruiting, time management is a big thing, right? It's probably one of the most valuable things, right? So as region trainers, we're available to come out and help assist, help prospect, help go build and develop those relationships out in the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really important. The the connections that you can make, the experience you can bring
Yes.
to help those young recruiters to maximize their effectiveness. I really liked you talked about time management. It is always on my mind. What are we doing from here that corporately is impacting recruiter time? Because that's the commodity that they have, and my goal is to try to reduce the things that take away from the time they have, right? And so you are another way that that's being done
Yes.
by showing them the best ways to do things to more effectively do them in the time that they have.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chief Hop, can you talk a little bit about how regions can assist recruiters out in the field as far as how they should view region trainers when they come out?
Absolutely. So it's a common misconception that, you know, when region comes out, somebody's in trouble, and we're looking for someone to get in trouble, or we're looking just for skeletons in the closet, whatever it may be. But no, we are actually out there to help. And that's the first ground, the groundwork that we lay is we let it know, hey, we are not here for any of that other stuff. We're here truly just to help you get better. And I try to let everybody know that we are on the same team. I use that word team all the time because we're so far away from the NTAGs that, they forget that. So
Is there a way in your mind that we could strengthen the relationship?
for one, I absolutely think this podcast is a great idea. The transparency.
Yeah, for sure.
And
sir.
yes, the transparency, and then being able to feel like they're a part of it because they can see it and hear it and not just, read an email or something like that. But for us to make it stronger would just to be, have more communication, which we do. We have now, we DPR every single day to certain, metrics and commands, and we are building those relationships, which makes it even better for when we go out there. They're like, oh yeah, well, Senior Carelock or Chief Hopkinson, and they already know that we're there to help them.
Yeah, they get some knows.
Yeah, because you've talked to them on the DPR. You've provided suggestions and advice. When you think back on your own experiences, Senior Chief first, what are some of the things that you think best prepared you for being a trainer? What are is it mostly your wins or was it some of the losses, right? We all have both.
Oh man. Oh. Whew. So as I said in my bio, I had a lot of success, right? But I also had a lot of failure, Big thing for me was humility, to be able to take that step down and understand that I wasn't so great in every aspect, right? Also too is leadership. I had a lot of good leaders, some still in, some are retired, that pushed me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, that humility, that leadership and resilience, I just kept on it. I was the recruiter, the DSVO, came into work super early, left, always wanted to be the last one to leave just to make sure everything got done.
Yeah. So you have that in your background
Awesome.
to kind of share your experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. How about you, Chief? What are some things?
Sir, I absolutely think my failures probably helped me the most, just because that's what I, see a lot in my day-to-day. And, as trainers, we're going out to those areas who need more help. I absolutely can level with them. And that one-on-one, like, level playing field, because I've been there, really helps,
Yeah.
build that relationship so that they can actually relate and listen and learn. So
Yeah, I think that's really important. Recruiting Nation should understand, recruiters everywhere, when a region trainer shows up, you both have had great success or you wouldn't be region trainers, right? But you've also had failure.
Yes.
And you've been exactly where those recruiters are. And so that sense of I've walked a mile in your shoes. I've dealt with, the person that's just intractably difficult or dragging this thing on, or the COI that really is anti-Navy or appears so,
Yes.
right? You can kind of give that experience back to young recruiters.
Senior Chief, you've been training for a long time. how do you tailor?
Do you
your
say we
training?
were old?
I know, right? Throwing that in there.
You've been in the game a minute. You know, we said 2004.
Yeah.
So you've definitely been training for a while. So I want to see, or if you can do a deep dive on how you tailor your training for the younger generation.
So I'm a big hands-on person, right? So before I arrive, I generally do a pre-work. I've already analyzed the market. I've already seen how the recruiters produce. I've already seen how, the moving parts in that particular station or division has done. So when I get to the station, generally I'm right. I'm already, all right, cool, let's go. Right. I'm one of those trainers that I travel in khakis because right when I touch ground, I'm going straight to work, right? But generally when I get in the office, we're doing a school visit, I'm extremely hands-on. How I gauge success afterwards is really the feedback, right? Because I keep in touch with the recruiters that rank the DLSPOs, and recently one of the NTAGs passed their NIT, and we did a region assist visit. And I had the DLSPO text me a week after and said, man, I really appreciate you visiting. We got a 96 overall percentage, right? And those texts, that feedback is, really what excites me to continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's really cool.
Appreciate that. So, Chief Hop, can you talk a little bit about some of the common things you find on visits when you go out to these various NTAGs?
Both good and bad.
Oh, yeah.
Both good and bad. Some of the common things that I find on visits, the lack of knowledge is a very common thing. So, one of my old mentors used to tell me that this job is like you're flying a plane as you're building it. And that resonates with me because we are going 100 miles an hour on the ground as we are still learning, evolving, as, new things come out and things like that. So, the lack of training is a really common thing that we do see. So we address that. Something that I also see now more so than before with all of the recent changes and, N33s coming back and things like that, there's still that drive to want to win. There are still a lot of people out there that want to win. So I'm really happy to still see that and still know that spark's still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's super encouraging when I'm talking to recruiters in the field, is that sense of, drive to win, that sense of we are winning, and that, sort of that cycle of continuing success. It's a great motivator for me. It's also good to talk with young recruiters that have hard questions when I'm out there about why is it this way? Why can't we do this? I think that's encouraging too, because people are showing that they care enough to ask the question, right? It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Senior Chief, can you talk a little bit to the recruiting nation, especially on what you define as success in Navy recruiting?
Wow, what do I find as success in Navy recruiting? I really think that's a more of an internal question for the recruiter, right? We as leaders, we as region trainers, we understand that recruiters are sailors first, right? That they pick this shore duty to either advance up in rank or maybe even get out the Navy. But again, I think that's a eternal question that the recruiter has the answer. What makes them happy to recruit someone in the Navy, or what makes them happy to come to work every day, right? To me, success was getting a 6-shooter every month or winning the station of the month, right? I had those small little milestones to get throughout the year, or maybe changing someone's life for the better,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good range of successes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think your point that the core of success is within each recruiter.
Yes.
Right. And then when we put it all together, we in recruiting are making mission. Not only that, exceeding mission in many cases, and so that's really exciting to see. And that it's not just about numbers. Right. There's a lot about numbers in this organization.
Yeah.
Right. There's a box score. There's a number we have to hit. But it's also about all those other successes. Did I prepare myself for my next sea tour? Did I prepare myself to be a CRF?
Yes.
Did I prepare myself to transition out of the Navy? Am I proud of what I did during my time in recruiting, knowing I'm going to have the opportunity to continue to wear the recruiter badge back in the fleet, right? That kind of sense. It's really good.
Oh yeah. Chief Hop, in your opinion, is there any system that is being underutilized by recruiters across the enterprise?
So I thought about that question a lot, and I could go a few different ways, but something I truly feel really passionate about, and I believe one of the biggest untapped competitive advantages that failing stations lack is teamwork. Like teamwork is one of the biggest untapped competitive advantages that organizations, either have or lack.
Yeah.
And I just went out to NTAG Golden Gate for their DTM and for some Salesforce training, and the feeling in that room was unmatchable compared to any other NTAGs I had been to this year. Just the teamwork, the camaraderie, the leadership, it gave me the chills, and it excited me, and I was like excited to even go out there because they're doing so well that I didn't even think that as a trainer I would go out there, because normally we address deficiencies, but I truly believe that one of the biggest things is the lack of teamwork.
Yeah, some of that is because, I put some of that on myself, that I've said the words alone and unafraid in public before. There is some of that, right? Like each recruiter has to be able to go and talk to an individual
absolutely.
and, build a trust-based relationship and close. But really, this is not an individual sport, right? The recruiters are a group of elite athletes. They each have the wide receiver has their individual position to play and their skill, but they do it as a team.
Yeah.
And to your point, even though those individual acts happen, it's that sense of support, knowledge sharing, lessons learned. I got you, man. You're gonna be off tomorrow. I got you. I'm doing this interview for you. Whatever, and you cover each other. Nothing beats that. That's some of what has kept me in the Navy for as long as I've been in the Navy. That sense of team that's always there, right? I really like that.
Oh yeah. So as we near the end of this episode, my final question is for both of you. What advice do you have for Recruiting Nation? Starting with you, Chief.
Recruiting Nation, my best advice I would have, being in this job since 2014 in recruiting, I've seen a lot and I've done a lot, and I've had ups and a lot of downs. But the biggest thing at this point in my life, I truly urge everybody to learn how to separate work and personal life. It is really easy in recruiting to have that overlap and merge, and that can really affect your personal, and mental and emotional, all that kind of stuff. So learn how to find a good balance and learn how to separate it.
It's when you're home, you're home.
When you're home, you're home.
Sometimes you get texted by email.
Yes, I mean there's definitely some flexibility there, but definitely when you're home, and when you're at work, it's time to get to work.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Senior Carelock?
Oh man, so I forgot to say in my bio, so I'll say it now. I'm third generation Navy. My great uncle was a BM1, retired out, joined the Air Force as an officer. And then my uncle was an AO2. He actually talked me to join the Navy. Then he got out when I joined. Crazy.
You have the watch.
I know. And that'll take me to segue into my point. Recruiters should remember what our job is, right? We're manning the fleet. We're recruiting the next Michael Murphy. We're recruiting the next recruiting admiral, right? We're recruiting the next captain of, CVN 68, right? Our job is to man the fleet. At the end of the day, when recruiters become recruiters coming from the ship, they're sailors that come out to do the job. We are filling someone to cover down, to be the watch, right? To go out there and accomplish the mission for the U.S. Navy. That's our job, and that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really good.
Oh yeah. Sir, closing remarks?
Yeah, this has been great. I really appreciate the two of you spending some time with us this afternoon. Really motivating for me to hear your words of wisdom and hear your experiences. It makes me feel secure, comfortable, and excited about the future of Navy recruiting to hear from both of you. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, sir.
God, you for having us.
Recruiter Nation, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncharted Waters with the one, the only, the people's champ, the architect of success, Admiral James Waters. Chief Totemate, out.